Hey there, welcome to this beginner-friendly tutorial on web development. Every website you visit, whether it's Google, YouTube, or your favorite online store, is built using these three key technologies: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. They work together to create everything from simple websites to sophisticated web applications like Facebook, Twitter or X, and Netflix. Today, we'll start with the basics, and by the end of the video, you'll have built your first interactive web page. The best part, everything you'll learn today is the foundation for more advanced projects in the future. This is web development in under 10 minutes. Before we start coding, let's quickly break down how websites work. Think of a website like a house. The HTML is the structure, like the walls, floors, and rooms of a house. The CSS is the design, like paint, decorations, furniture, and generally making it look nice. The JavaScript is the interactivity, like lights turning on, TV working, doors opening and closing. These three technologies are everywhere on the web. Learning them is your first step towards building amazing interactive web apps. Now, let's dive in and start coding. First, you need to install a code editor. You can do so by going to code.visualstudio.com and install Visual Studio Code, which is a free and popular code editor. After completing the installation, open Visual Studio Code, then open a directory and select it. Then press New File and then type in index.html, then press Enter. Create file. Then right-click on index.html and select Reveal in Finder. Select the file and open it in a browser. This is where we start writing our HTML code. This will in turn gets translated by a browser to what you see when you visit a website on the web. We begin by typing the doctype HTML tag, which tells the browser that it is dealing with an HTML file. Next, we begin by writing our HTML element. Notice that every HTML element has a beginning and a closing tag. Every element we write after this will be nested inside the HTML element, like the head. The head section contains metadata about the document, such as encoding, title, and viewport settings. The UTF-8 meta tag specifies the character encoding for the document. The viewport meta tag ensures the web page scales correctly on different devices, setting the width to the device's screen width. This is the title of the document, which appears on the Browser tab. The body section contains all the visible content of the web page. The H1 tag is used as the main heading of the web page, typically the most important title. The image tag displays an image. The source attribute defines the image path, and the width sets its width in pixels. We will come back to defining the source path later. Now let's refresh the page to see our changes. You can see the H1 tag and the title of the page. We use the H2 tag to provide additional information about the user. H2 is usually less important than H1 and smaller. A div tag is a block-level container used to group related content. Here we use the H3 tag as a subheading for the bio section. The P tag represents a paragraph of text. Here the paragraph contains a personal introduction and experience summary. Add another div section to group related elements. Another H3 subheading for the skill section. Let's quickly refresh the page to see our changes so far. Then let's add the span tag, which is an inline container used to style or format text. And refresh the page again to see our changes reflected. And finally, let's add a div to group the contact section. The A tag creates a hyperlink. The href attribute specifies the link destination. Using mail to opens an email client when the link is clicked. Now let's go back and add that image source. Create a new folder called Images and add your image to that folder. Then let's add this image path to the source attribute of our image tag. Refresh the page to see our changes, and now we're done. We will now start adding CSS to our document. By adding the style attribute to the body element, we will then align all the elements inside the body tag to the center. We add a background color and a text color, and refresh the page to see our changes reflected. We apply a font size of 50 pixels to the h1 tag to make it larger. We then add a border radius of 5 pixels to the image tag to slightly round the corners of the image, and add a shadow around the image for a 3D effect using the box shadow attribute. Let's add some styling around the bio container. We add a white background, black text, 10 pixel padding to add spacing inside the box, a border radius of 10 pixels to round the edges, limit the width of the box to 80% of the page width, margin top of 20 pixels, sets a distance of 20 pixels between this box and the element above it. We add a box shadow for a 3D effect, and we align the text to the left. We then apply the same styling to the skills section, and then refresh the page to see the changes. Instead of duplicating our code, there is a better, cleaner way to achieve the same result. Introducing the style tag, we assign a class name inside the style tag. This class name can be anything. We then copy our bio styles and paste them inside the content box. We then scroll down to the bio div container and reference the content box class instead of the style attribute. We can then apply the same content box class to our skills section and to our contact section, making our styles reusable and multi-purpose. We can apply the same refactoring for our other elements in the page, like the body tag. The h1 tag, notice we are applying the styles to tags generally instead of being specific. And our image tag. Our skills look too basic. Let's add some styling. We are adding background color, max width, padding, shadow, radius, and margin for distance between the elements. Refresh the page to see the changes, and change the color for specific skill span elements. And refresh the page to see the changes applied, and we are done. Onto JavaScript. Let's add a button element at the end of our bio section, and separate the lower half of the bio text in another p element. Then hide it by giving it a display none style. Then refresh the page to see your changes reflected. Let's make the show more button prettier. We then assign an onClick property to the button and define the toggle bio action in between script tags at the bottom of the page. This action gets the more bio element by ID, then displays it if it's hidden. Don't forget to assign the more bio ID to the correct div, and test the functionality by clicking on the show more button. Then hide the button after it's been clicked. And now we are done.